Hi friends! Today I'm going to show you how to do modern calligraphy with a basic pencil type of brush. This is something that we call faux calligraphy or fauxligraphy, and it's really fun because it looks great, but you don't have to have any special lettering tools. If you've watched any of my videos, you've probably heard me say that the one basic thing you need to know for hand lettering is that you want your downstrokes to be thick and your upstrokes to be thin. But that can be tricky to do using a brush pen, whether it's on paper or on the iPad. They both work the same, and it can be tricky to get that pressure sensitivity down. So this is a way that we can use a pen just like this, so it's even all the way through, but we're still going to get that brush lettering style. So let's get started. The brush I'm going to use is the Mono Weight pen by Rad and Happy, and this is just an even weight pen, so no matter how hard I press, it's going to be the same thickness. I have the screen on full size, which scales your brushes a little bit smaller, so I'm going to make it pretty large, but I just like it to look kind of like this. And then we're basically just going to use our own handwriting for our hand lettering style, which is what I think makes fauxligraphy so great, because you don't really have to know anything. You really can just use whatever your style is and just draw out your letters this way. So then what we're going to do is go back and fill in our downstrokes to make them thicker. So what I like to do is just put my brush size a little bit smaller. Otherwise, if you have a really large brush size, it can be hard to get it right in the right spot without it kind of going over the edge there. So I like to make it just a little bit smaller so it's easier to not overlap. And then we're going to go in and thicken our downstrokes. So as we write, our upstrokes are the ones going up, and then when we come back down, those are our downstrokes. So when I very first started hand lettering, before this was even a thing, I wasn't sure how to figure out which side to do. So I would just kind of do what I thought looked best, and sometimes I was probably right and sometimes I was probably wrong. So I just want to explain that so you know there is actually a method to it. So as we write, if we look at how we formed our letters, I'm just going to do this in different color. We went up this way, and then we came back down this way. And then we went up here, and then down here, and up here, and down here. So this little loop right here is actually going to have a little bit of a downstroke naturally, and then we're also going to come back right here with a downstroke. We have up here and then down here. So let me turn that layer off and go back here. So now we know naturally where we are going to put our downstrokes. And if you add the arrows just to help yourself along, you want to make sure that you have it on a different layer so that you can easily turn it off and on if you get stuck. So we're just going to go back through and go to where all of our downstrokes were and just fill those in. So this was an upstroke. And it's kind of up to you whether or not you want to go on the inside or the outside of your line. I just do whatever looks the most natural. And since this loop is really small, if I were using a brush pen, I wouldn't have time to push really hard, so it's just going to be smaller than the other ones. The goal is I just really want it to look as naturally as possible. So now we can go back and fill in our downstrokes. Depending on how many you have, it might be easier for you to just grab this here and drop it over. So you can do the dropper by just grabbing your color, which is this little circle right here, pulling it over and dropping it right in the middle. So now that we have the look we're going for, I like to just go back and kind of clean things up and make sure the corners are kind of rounded here. So now I just want to show you the difference between this and a brush pen. I'm going to use the Rad and Happy brush pen. And both of these pens that I've used are ones that are free and they're my favorites, and I have them all linked up in my favorite brush pens video, so I will leave the link for that in the description box if you don't have these brushes, but these are perfect beginner brushes. So if we use the calligraphy brush, which is a pressure sensitive brush, I need to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to push a little bit harder to develop those thicker strokes. If you're on Instagram, you'll actually see a lot of people use this calligraphy style who are really talented hand lettering artists. So while I think it's great for beginners, it is by no means just for beginners. And a lot of people love this look and this style over this one, no matter how practiced they are. A lot of people just really like this style. I personally like both for different reasons. So here's just a little example. And you can always, as you can see, my brush is a little bit thicker in the brush pen style, but you can always go back and thicken this as well. It's just a matter of how thick you'd like it to look. There is really no right or wrong to this. It's just a matter of your style. So it's really fun to play around with, and I love that you can do this with just a pencil or a pen. Like I said, I do plan on doing a video for those of you who like to use a pencil and paper, but I actually recorded one, and it was super hard to see the pencil just because it wrote really lightly in the bright light. So I am hopefully going to get some kind of pencil that is a bit darker for you to be able to see. So if you're interested in learning more about calligraphy, I do have these lettering worksheet sets, and I have one that is specifically for calligraphy with this type of a pen, and it breaks down each letter and which downstrokes to fill in, and it gives you a page for each letter so you can practice my style of lettering until you are ready to create your own freehand lettering. So as you can see here, it gives you a space to write in your letter, and then you can practice this while you trace, and then here it shows you which downstrokes to fill in. So you can trace here, and then you can go back and fill in your downstrokes, and then after you have practiced, you can go down here and practice your own, and it has one of these sheets for every single letter. So if you are interested in those, I will leave the link in the description box below. You can check those out if you are wanting to know more about calligraphy. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments below, or you can find me on Instagram. It is at howtohandletter, and I try to post a lot of tips over there as well as Instagram stories of different types of lettering. And I also love to get feedback from you guys over there, and I get a lot of ideas for videos. So if you have any interest, please find me there. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Bye.